Something a little bit different tonight. I'm actually broadcasting from my laptop. I wanted to try it, see how it goes. Tonight I'm wanting to, besides now I can see like comments hopefully off to the side in case anybody actually gets on live while I'm live. So tonight I wanted to teach you how to do muscle testing, and I'm actually going to take my glasses off because you cannot see me from the glare. I'm going to show you a really easy way to do muscle testing for yourself. The easiest method that I found for me that I wanted to share because it's pretty simple, it's called the ring and ring method. It's where you take your two fingers and you hook them together and then you pull on them. So, and just by doing that, I mean, I can pull super, super hard and I'm super strong and those rings stay put together. And if I were to, just an easy thing to be like, okay, well, I'll muscle test on my name. If I were to say my name is Shirley, it's like I would pull on it and I cannot hold that. I might be able to hold it a little bit, but then it's like it breaks. And you don't have to do it super hard. I mean, I'm showing you for the purpose of showing like the strength that you can put into it. But if I were to say, so my first name is Jeanette, my middle name is Paige, and so I can use either one of those. It's like if I were to say my name is Jeanette, it's like I can pull really tight. If I were to say my name is Paige, I can pull really, really tight because in my body, that is a truth, and the energy of that lends itself to being able to hold that firm. Basically, anytime that you are in a non-truth with yourself, you will be able to know that by muscle testing. And so like if I were to say, let's see, one of the things that that I've worked through has been I love myself. So let me test with that. I love myself. I am testing really, really strong on that. But if you were to test that, you might find that that breaks and that you wouldn't be able to hold that energetically. Hello, Joni. How are you? So something that I'm going to be talking about as we move further along in some of the things that I'm teaching you is how to apply these things to yourself. So tonight I wanted to work on the teaching you how to do the muscle testing because in one of the upcoming videos I wanted to show you the different meridian endpoints that you can do tapping on. That you can help to clear energy out of the body through that meridian point that shows up as wanting to be cleared. So if I were to, I'm trying to think, it's like I'm just doing this on the spur of the moment. I did not think this through very clearly aside from what it was that I wanted to talk to you about. If I were to, okay, so something that I am still working on is I am worthy of having a good income of my very own, not my husband's income, but my income, money for me. That's something that I'm still working on. And so if I were to test for that, it's like I am worthy of having my own income, and it breaks. And there's something there that that is a fear or there's something there that interferes with me being able to actually bring and create that into my own life. So that's something that I've been working on because, like I had mentioned about a week or so ago, been probably about 2 weeks now, is that I realized that for this year, my mainstay affirmation, and the very last part can be different and get tweaked, but that affirmation that I'm working on is I am allowing myself to receive. And so that's been this week's is like I am allowing myself to receive, and then a certain amount for income that I honestly I wanted $500 and I want $500 by the end of the month. And it was interesting because as that came up last night, that's what felt correct in my heart as something I want to create for myself. But at the same time, I also felt a great deal of fear come up around that. I recognized, oh, okay, so there's this thing there that I can work on and I can set the example with to things that I'm still working through. It's interesting. I've worked through so much of the self-worth stuff. It's like I'm so solid on that now. I will preach it from the tops of the mountains and to the day I die. And so now I'm working on the finances part, which is really interesting because I'm moving into next month. I've felt very specifically impressed that I need to put together a thing specifically towards finances. And I've really been in angst about this because I feel like I have not gotten my own finances completely in order yet. And so I don't want to come off as feeling hypocritical, but at the same time, I am being moved to do this. And I thought, okay, this is because I need to get my own stuff in order. And so, so I will be doing that next month. And, but for this month, we're focusing on the self-love and that's something that I can totally, I can preach it day in and day out. Anybody that knows me knows how easily I can get on my little preacher and just talk about, no, we need to love ourselves. And anyway, I was back on the muscle testing. So with the muscle testing, I was able to show you with something for me that shows up as a weakness, and like that my body, the energy, I can't hold that. And it's fascinating. I loved how Louise Hay phrased once. She talked about, talking about abundance, she talks about how there's more than just financial abundance. There's an abundance of time. There's an abundance of health. There's an abundance of joy, and all these areas of abundance. And I thought that was absolutely fascinating. And so I've really, really appreciated that, having that perspective. It's like, I already am abundant. I am abundant in so many things. And now I'm ready to get my finances abundant. But it was just this thought of, you know, all there is in the world is abundance. And and I will do a whole different thing. It's like, I keep going down that path. It's like, because I'm so excited for next month and I haven't even finished this month. But so look forward to that. But so yeah, so I'm still working through some of my own stuff, and so with the muscle testing, I wanted to go back to that. So there's the areas where, so the tapping, I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, so I apologize. So there's the muscle testing. The point of the muscle testing is so you can know where the next step is. And so with me, muscle testing, I was demonstrating that that's something for me that I can, that I'm working through. So, so what I would do is I would, for me, I've done this enough time, I can usually feel in my body where it is that I'm needing to do tapping. Because with something that I'm not testing strong on, I would need to do tapping to go along with it. And so I would probably go through and I would muscle test to see which meridian it is that's showing up the strongest for needing to be cleared. And because I haven't presented that to you, I'm trying to decide on the spot whether or not I move forward with that or not. And I do feel like I do need to. And so there's these different meridians. And so, and I'm not going to pretend I do not know which ones go where, but there's inside the eyebrow, on the outside of the eye, just underneath the eye, I believe that's the stomach meridian. The top of the lip, that one is the end point of the governing meridian. The bottom of the lip, and that one is the end point of the central meridian. Then there are points right here, and there is, under the armpits, like where your brow line is, and you cannot see that on me because it's off the screen. And then there's just underneath the breasts, like right where your ribs are right there. And then, and I had mentioned there's inside the pinky, inside the ring finger, inside the middle finger, inside the pointer finger, and the inside of the thumb. And so each one of those, that covers all the meridians. And I actually will say that with the two meridians, the governing meridian that goes up and over the head, and then the central meridian that comes from the bottom lip down to the base of the pelvic bone, those are actually considered to be like the parents of all the other meridians. It's like all the other meridians are like little children, and they can respond to either the mother or the father. And so actually I'm feeling like that's something that would be helpful for tonight. I'm feeling like I need to work with the Actually, I'm going to test on that one. So I need to work, let's see, I'm making clear statements is super helpful. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm reminding myself not to ask questions, but to make clear statements. So I'm working with my finances. I need to work through the father meridian. Nope, I need to work through the mother meridian, which makes sense to me because I have worked with different things with my finances, and a very, very common point that gets traced back to is when I was about 5 years old. We had chores, and my parents were wonderful. They paid us for our chores, and you know, like just quarters or whatever. And with my chores, I would do them, but I would do them sporadically. And there was one that I really specifically detested because there was so much detail work with it, and it felt like it took forever for a little 5, 6-year-old. And it was kind of lonely doing it. And so I didn't like doing it. And it was dusting the banister. And actually dusting in general, because there was like a lot of stuff to like lift up and dust around. And this was by the time I was getting a little bit older. I was probably closer to 7. But so I just remember back to 5 and 7. And I remember my mom kept getting frustrated with me because I was really inconsistent with doing my work. And so instead of only paying me for when I did my work, she took away my allowance altogether, and I still had to do the work. And it's been fascinating to me, which I understand why she would do that. And so I don't blame her at all, but I do recognize how there was something in me that started a belief of money and my effort. It's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter if I make an effort now, I'm not going to get paid anyways. Or, you know, those kinds of things. So it makes sense to me why I need to work through this, through that mothering meridian. And so what I'll do is I'm going to just tap right here underneath my lip. And the one that comes up is, I am worthy and deserving of receiving financial compensation. I am worthy and deserving of receiving financial compensation. I am worthy and deserving of receiving financial compensation. And it's interesting because I don't think that's what that's really about, but that's what felt like I needed to start with. And I can feel that there's something deeper. And so I'm feeling something in my body, and it's actually coming up through my chest, because I've talked to you about when you're feeling something, feel where it is in your body that you're feeling it. And for me, it's coming up right here around my chest area. Not quite the heart, it's just above that. And it feels like it has something to do with breathing, and it feels like it has something to do with tears. And so the thought that comes to mind is to test for an age. And so I'm going to come back to my testing, and I'm going to do, this is between the ages of 0 and 10. And I'm strong with that. So something between the ages of 0 and 10. I can narrow that down now between the ages of 5 and 10. And so then I would go, okay, is this about age 5? No. About age 6? No. About age 7? Yes. About age 8? Yes. About age 9? No. About age 10? Yes. So actually it looks like there's a couple of different things. It could be 2 and it could be 3. And so what I'll do is I'm actually going to go through, and when I get off here, I will do some energy work on myself and go and find some more details as to what those things are. See if there's any specific memories or thoughts that come up that are about those ages that would be around finances. And it could be things that my parents said that I took in, that I heard and that stayed with me. It could be all kinds of different things. And then I will work through those until I start testing strong for I am worthy and deserving of receiving my own income. And so I just wanted to get on and show you a little bit about, first of all, how to muscle test, because muscle testing is really, really helpful as you are starting to heal your own life and being able to have power to work with yourself, because I love being able to help people. I love doing energy work with people. But at the same time, I love when they want to help themselves as well. I want to empower you to be able to do that. And so as we go on in time, as we move forward, and as I'm teaching you these different things, I want to teach you how to do the things that you can do on your own, that you don't need special gifts or anything, that you can actually tap into your subconscious to learn some of these things for yourself. And then when you get stuck, you can have me help you. And that's something that I've really loved doing is being able to share a lot of information for free, and then being able to, you know, help you with the hard places and make things like that. So, Joni, do you have any questions? I figure since you're the only one watching live, I can ask you specifically. Trying to think if there's anything else. Feeling better. You guys know that I was sick from my video the other day, and I'm actually sounding quite a bit better right now. Even earlier this morning, I was pretty congested. And that's been nice. I've been making sure I have lots of herbal tea that I learned how to make, and eventually I'm excited because I'm going to be getting my herbal certification. I don't know when I'll finish that, but I've already finished the first course series, and so I learned a ton, and I'm excited to be able to share that with others as well, as part of just that whole spectrum of being able to be well, not just emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, but even physically, being able to help teach how you can support your physical body as well, and it just feels more balanced. So I've been using lots of herbs, lots of vitamins to help me, and it's been fascinating because I've had I've cut this thing just in half. So, all right, well, glad you don't have any questions. You're welcome for the information. It's fun to play with. I should mention that with the muscle testing, I don't know why I thought about this. It has nothing to do with you specifically, but with muscle testing, it's like it's not going to be effective to ask am I going to win the lottery, or should I marry somebody, or if you're pregnant, or if you're wondering if you're pregnant, it's not going to tell you if you're pregnant or not effectively. It's it'll go back and forth, and oh, is it a boy or is it a girl, or just stuff like that. It's not going to be effective for using for that reason. But anything that's tapping into universal conscious, in right now and in the past, that it will pull information from your subconscious and from the information field. And so so you can use it for those. And then the other thing is, you wouldn't be able to use it oh, do I have cancer? Because the body doesn't recognize, do I have cancer? But the body would recognize, do I have inflammation? There are different things, one's a symptom versus the other is a label that medicine has put on as far as a combination of symptoms. And so you could boil it down to being very, very specific as to things that do I need vitamin C? I can do I need vitamin C? And yes, and I've been taking a ton of vitamin C, but my body is saying I still need more. And so you can go through and do that. You can even do dosing, how much vitamin, for me, okay, since I'm right here right now, I'll show you. It's so for me, okay, I need, excuse me, I need vitamin C. How much vitamin C do I need? And I already know it's going to be in milligrams, 1,000 milligrams, 2,000 milligrams. So basically my body is saying I really could use a boost of vitamin C right now for 1,000 milligrams. And then, and so that's what I do. And sometimes you might feel like you're getting high numbers, but you could always check with me and say, okay, can you test this, make sure I'm getting this right, or verify it, or even just if you're worried about an answer you're getting back, then just set it aside for now. It's okay. So all right, I'm gonna let that go. Let's see. Hey, that is so cool that you turn on an alert to make know that when I'm live, because you know what, I feel like I've tried that and it feels like I never get the alerts anyway. Maybe it's because I don't have my phone alerts that let me do it, even though my Facebook setting is. So that's so cool. I might have to have you teach me how to do that. All right. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to mention. I mentioned the paradigms around when you would want to use it and when it won't work very well. Sorry, it won't work for the lottery. But it really does help you to be able to tune into either physically things that are going on, emotionally, mentally, things that for me, it's well, of course I believe I deserve to have an income. That wouldn't make any sense, but there's something in my subconscious, a belief that I've got somewhere that I need to work with that is saying otherwise. And it's those thoughts and those beliefs that create our lives. And whatever you're getting on your outside world, the reason you're getting those on your outside world is because that's where it's being created in your outside world to match what your inner experience is. So I'm going to go because my throat is going to make me cough because I've been talking, and I'm noticing that when I've talked a lot today, maybe I'm talking too much. Maybe that's my body saying, hey, girl, zip it. All right. Love you. And I will be on probably tomorrow. And I'm super excited. I'm going to study up to make sure I know which of my meridians are which because I only remember those few. You guys have a fabulous night. And obviously you can hear me. And I will be probably doing more of these from my laptop. I feel like it's a little bit easier than trying to hold my phone and the whole thing. So I love you. And we'll see you next time.